I left home at 14 and I spent 3 years in homeless hostels in London and sofa surfing and trying to keep my heroin addict boyfriend from overdosing yet again. But against all of the odds, I became the first woman in the world to drive a world rally car and the first woman to drive for Ford Motor Company. I started out as a loser and I became a winner. So, why do some people win and some people lose? Why do some people achieve their goals and others never get there? What do you think? What's the difference between winners and losers? Is it skill, talent, or intelligence that sets the winners apart? Rarely. Alan Sugar had 1 GCSE. Einstein was told he wouldn't amount to much. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard in his junior year. Elton John, Walt Disney, and Richard Branson, they all dropped out of school to pursue their passions. And I was a runaway, homeless teenager with a drug addict boyfriend. I dreamt of becoming a rally champion since the age of 6, when I saw rally cars on TV for the first time, and the colourful cars were whizzing through the forest, throwing up mud and gravel, and I saw the co-driver shouting instructions, pace notes, to the driver who was sliding the car sideways and just making the car dance through the corners. I thought it was the most exciting thing I had ever seen. And I knew from that moment that when I grew up, I wanted to be a rally champion. When you were a kid, what did you want to be? Ballet dancer? Train driver? Astronaut? And did you do that? Or did life get in the way? I had no chance of my dream becoming a reality. I'd grown up in a dysfunctional house with an alcoholic, manic depressive mother who spent most of my childhood in a lunatic asylum, and a father I was afraid of. To survive and function, I disengaged emotionally from the world, and I believed I was useless, worthless, and completely unlovable. These are not useful or helpful thoughts if you want to be a confident, successful rally driver. I started out as a loser and I became a winner. So what happened? How did I do that? And how can you do that too? Well, I may have the answer. 30% of any achievement you make will be down to your skill, talent, and intelligence. Only 30%. But 70% of your achievement will be down to your mental toughness, your confidence, commitment, focus, grit, resilience, determination. Just think about it. Think about anyone you admire in business, sport, politics, media, any field at all. They have all achieved their success because of their determination, their focus, and their commitment. It is your mental toughness that will set you apart from the rest. Your mental toughness is your game changer. So what is mental toughness? Well, it's not a macho, aggressive notion. Some of the quietest people are really mentally tough. Mental toughness is the ability to manage the stress, the pressure, the challenge, and the chaos of life. And the better we handle stress and pressure, the more likely we are to enjoy life. The mentally tough thrive because they can breeze through the tough times and remain optimistic. For the mentally tough, a challenge or a setback can be water off a duck's back. On the other end of the spectrum are those people who don't cope so well with change and stress and are much more likely to crack under pressure. These mentally sensitive people, however, are creative, empathetic. They tend to wear their hearts on their sleeve and they're brilliant listeners. They're really nice to be around. So the world needs a diverse mix of mentally tough and mentally sensitive people. So how did I become mentally tough enough to overcome the obstacles and the setbacks that I faced? Well, I discovered that there were 4 key aspects to becoming mentally tough, which I wanted to share with you. And practiced repeatedly, these will help you to increase your mental toughness. The first aspect is control. This is the extent to which you feel you are in control of your life. You might feel like you're in the driving seat of your life, in control of your destiny. You choose the direction, the pace, the style, the destination. But you might feel more of a passenger through life, at the mercy of where life takes you, almost a victim of what the world throws at you. Some people believe they can have considerable influence over their environment. They can make a difference and they can change things. And this is the growth mindset that we hear about, believing that anything is possible, always open to possibilities, and that we can steer destiny and results the way we want them to go. But others feel that outcomes are out of their personal control and they're unable to influence events or others. So there's a sense of having control of your life, but there's also emotional control, being able to manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of others. We all get stressed. We all get anxious. It's just that some of us deal with it better than others. You know that when you walk into a room full of really stressed out people, it can be contagious and you can become super stressed as well. A mentally tough person wouldn't be affected by everyone else's emotions. If you can regain a sense of control of your life and your emotions, you will feel more excited and more engaged and energized by what life throws at you and more able to cope. The more changes we face, the less control we may feel. So really, it's less about what happens to you, but more about what happens within you. What could you do today to regain a stronger sense of control over your life? Start to visualize how things could be if everything went your way. Create a picture in your mind of what you're after. Forget the things you can't control and focus on the things that you can. The second aspect of mental toughness is commitment. This is our ability to set a task and complete a task. How likely are you to persist with a goal, a target, or a work task? You know, some people love to set goals and to reach them. They stay focused, they don't get distracted, but some people set goals and do nothing about them. Some people avoid goals like the plague. They are demotivated by them because there's a danger that if they don't succeed, they might be exposed as a fraud or a loser. People differ in the degree to which they remain focused on their goals and targets. Some people are easily distracted or bored, or they divert their attention away from completing goals, whereas others will persist until the goal is reached. Have you ever committed to do something and you stick with it for a bit, but you end up wandering back to your old ways? That's because your commitment wasn't complete. It wasn't 100%. You are either committed or you are not. A commitment is 100% or zero. 99% commitment means you enter a danger zone, a tug of war, where you give yourself excuses and get outs and you talk yourself out of your commitment. So what could you commit to today 100%? What if I could give you a task that would take just 5 minutes a day and will help you to start developing your resilience immediately? Are you up for it? Well, I want you to commit 100% to taking an ice-cold shower every day for the next 7 days. I know it sounds awful, but you know, lots of people do this every day of the year because they really feel the benefits. It activates the body's natural healing powers. It makes you more alert. It aids digestion, helps with weight loss, and improves sleep. Anything, in fact, that you can do to practice tolerating discomfort will build resilience, commitment, and determination. Please give it a go and stick with it because you will thank me. The third aspect of mental toughness is challenge. People really differ in how they approach a challenge or a setback. Some people, when faced with a challenge, will immediately see the threat in it, the problems and the difficulties. But a mentally tough person will consider every challenge or problem that they face as an opportunity. They'll get excited at the prospect of turning a challenge into something exciting, a chance to try something new, discover something new. And they'll thrive on the prospect of flipping it around and winning or just coming out on top. Things won't always go your way, but there is always something to be learnt from whatever happens. Taking learning from every experience is so important. Sport, of course, is notorious for teaching us all about failure and disappointment. And in rallying, they say, if you're not crashing, you're not trying hard enough. And what they mean is that you have to push yourself and the car to find your limit, to uncover your as yet unknown ability. And needless to say, I have had my fair share of crashes in pursuit of finding my limit. Lastly, there is confidence. Most of us want more confidence. But of course, confidence is intangible. You can't see it, you can't hold it, you can't photograph it, but you can sense it and you can feel it. People will make a judgment about your confidence in half a second, and that will influence how they deal with you. If they sense nervousness in you, they may find it hard to trust you. People with high levels of confidence have a strong sense of self-belief. Be warned though, you can be too mentally tough. You can have such high levels of self-control that you're hard to read and no one knows what you're thinking or feeling. You might be so focused that you don't listen to anyone else and you maybe miss out on some amazing ideas. With so much uncertainty, lots of people are losing confidence right now. We lack self-confidence and we can be intimidated by confident people. But your skill and your experience will almost certainly be greater than you give yourself credit for. You can have confidence in your ability. I have self-belief. I believe I can. But it's also important to develop interpersonal confidence, being around other people. I can influence others, ask questions, argue my corner, speak up and speak out. Looking back, I'd been developing my mental toughness since I was a small child, without even realizing it. I grew up holding beliefs that I was worthless, useless, unlovable, and I disconnected from the world emotionally. I hit rock bottom in London, and after years in homeless hostels, I just wanted to check out of life. But rock bottom can be a great place to bounce back from. My childhood dream of becoming a rally champion would have stayed just that if I hadn't lied and borrowed some money to spend half a day at a rally school. That day changed my life. 12 years later, I became the first woman in the world to drive a world rally car and the first and the only woman to drive for Ford. I developed my confidence, commitment, resilience, and sense of control of my life. I developed my mental toughness, and you can do that too. We might be stuck with the genes that we're born with, but we can all develop our mental toughness. You can choose to change or choose to stay as you are. A few years ago, I worked with a professional and an amateur golfer, and I was helping them with their mental approach to their game, and their skill was immense, breathtaking. I couldn't believe how they could both hit a ball such huge distances with ridiculous accuracy. I personally couldn't see any difference in their ability, but it did strike me. The amateur was never going to make it as a professional because under the stress and the pressure of a competition, he cracked and fell to bits. But the professional took the pressure in his stride. It was water off a duck's back to him. Their success lie in their attitude, approach, and mindset, just like yours does. Your mental toughness will play a more important role than anything else in your success, whether it's as a sporting hero, a partner, a leader, or a parent, anything. So why do some people win and some people lose? The winners have true self-belief, confidence, commitment, courage, and they feel in control of their lives. They don't give up. They are relentless in the pursuit of their dream or their passion. Their purpose drives them, just like it did for me. They see the challenge as an opportunity, and they embrace change as a chance to learn and grow. They learn something valuable from everything that happens to them. They are mentally tough. What could you achieve if you were able to better manage the stress and the pressure of life as a confident, committed, focused, and determined person? Imagine what would happen if you developed your mental toughness.